My husband and I, both 33, have been together since college. Over the years, he has had quite the career trajectory. He's a quant portfolio manager and makes like 10 times what I make, and I make a good salary, haha. As we've grown wealthier, I've learned that people have become nosier. Friends, acquaintances, relatives, you name it. Initially, I would entertain the nosy questions, but since I turned 30, I've adopted a take no crap attitude. I no longer say anything when people ask me how much he makes. I've learned the hard way that giving an exact number can have bad consequences. My coworker, 25, is new, and she already has quite a reputation. Very chatty, catty, gossipy. You get the gist. You can just tell she craves wealth and status. She wears a bunch of flashy designer items and is always asking the ladies around the office which of the men are single. Last Friday, our office hosted an afternoon happy hour. She approached me and asked how my and my husband's recent European vacation went. I told her it went well and briefly summarized what we did. Then the conversation went something like this. Her: "So what does your husband do?" Me: "He works in finance." Her: "Oh, wow. He must make a ton to take you on all these lavish vacations. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how much does he make in a year?" Me: "Yes, we're very lucky that he makes a good salary." Polite smile. Her: "Oh, I won't tell anyone. How much does he rake in a year? Millions?" Me: awkward chuckle. "I'd rather not say, but it's up there." Her: "What? He doesn't allow you to give an exact number or something?" Me, visibly annoyed. "No, I just prefer not to say." Her: laughs in my face. "You think the stuck-up one would be the one with the money, not the one without." Me: "You should learn how to take no for an answer and when to quit being a nosy witch. It's a valuable lesson." Then I smiled at her and walked away. Later on, I had a few coworkers reach out to me and say that she was crying and left early and that I should apologize for calling her a rude name. I refused. I told my mom, and she said I was too rude to the new girl and that she's young and might not fully understand salary talk. She's old enough. My husband is fully on my side, but said maybe I should fake apologize for the sake of office politics, which I somewhat agree with. But still, am I the idiot? I know women like her, the type to find out it's millions and then start sleazing all over your husband. Not the idiot. I would tell them that when she's ready to apologize, genuinely, for being cranky, rude, intrusive, and condescending, and manipulative, you'll be more than ready to give a minute, but until then, it's a hard pass. Especially considering she tried to bait OP into divulging information that she clearly didn't want to. I thought the stuck-up one would be the one with the money, not without? Meaning you're stuck up for not giving me my way, so I'm going to insinuate that you're broke unless you tell me the information I want to know in the hopes that you'll be insulting enough to correct me. Bingo. She's crying to everyone to support her because her ego got blasted. She's after revenge. Her feelings aren't hurt, and 25 is old enough. She knows what she's doing. Report her to HR. She kinda low-key tried to get to know his salary so she could hang on to him and be his girlfriend. I could see her as the type of woman to throw herself onto married men if they have enough money. Everyone's the idiot here. I don't think I need to go into why she's an idiot. You should be able to walk away from someone at a work event without calling them a witch. Certain situations might warrant it, but she didn't assault you or steal something or otherwise act beyond the pale where you can justify losing control. Just walk away. Don't put your coworkers in a position where they have to debate justifying you, anyone calling someone a witch. The workplace isn't somewhere to put someone in their place. It's where you de-escalate and bring it up to the appropriate people. I've always found "why do you ask" is more effective than vague answers to unacceptably personal questions. I, 21 female, am a college student at home for summer break with my mom, 45, dad passed away when we were kids, and sister 19, who has a toddler son. I'm working to pay my way through school. I got some scholarships. It covers about 2/3 of my expenses. The rest I have to work for. So I've been spending my summer Uber and Lyft driving and doing random gigs on Craigslist here and there. Sometimes I participate as a subject in research studies for money. I signed up for one where I get up to $750 a week. I get sent home with equipment, one of which is a tablet, and I keep it in my room. I was going to use this for both semesters' books next year, but a passenger's kid had an accident in my car, so I have to get that detailed before I'm on the road again. Since it's summer, they're backed up with appointments, none available till next week, and I can't take the car out till then because customers will complain about the smell, which I did my best to get out, but need it detailed. So not only is this going into half the earnings from a research study, I'm losing about a week's worth of work. And if the equipment gets lost or damaged, it comes out of my pay. My sister asked to use the tablet. I said, no, it's not mine. It belongs to the local university where I'm doing the research study. I went out with some friends for a few hours, and when I got back, she had a super guilty look on her face and ran up the stairs to avoid me. Mother quietly took me aside and explained she'd used the tablet without my consent, and she put it down just for a second, and nephew knocked her coffee all over the tablet, and now it's broken. Thank goodness he didn't get burned. Mom is barely scraping by and can't afford to help, but because of the car situation, I was going to use the money earned for fall semester's books, and now most of the money left will be going to the lab, having to replace the tablet. I understand my sister's a teen, sleep-deprived single mom. Still, she does work part-time at a tanning salon while going to school. Although she just works over summer, the pay sucks, so I didn't expect her to pay all at once, but asked if she would do 2/3 of it in installments over time. I agreed to do 1/3 because even though she's old enough to know better, I should have locked it up. She's refusing to do anything at all, thinks I should just let it go because she's a single teen mom and he's just a baby, and she feels bad enough. I really don't think this is fair. Am I the idiot? I just discovered that if I feel bad enough about debt, I don't have to pay. My life will be so much better. LOL, not the idiot. Your sister is. She needs to grow up and learn some accountability for her actions. It's not someone else's job to fix her mistakes. I look at my credit cards. I regret everything. Wait a moment. Balances haven't changed. Phooey. She asked if she could borrow it. You said no. She stole it, broke it, and now doesn't think she should have to pay for it? The compromises that you offered her are generous, but unnecessary. The rest is background noise. It doesn't matter if you could afford to replace it yourself, how old she is, or how much sleep she gets. She shouldn't have been using it in the first place. Sister owes you a tablet, and herself will come to Jesus with unpleasant reality. You likely signed some IT acceptable use document or contract to participate in this research, which likely includes a clause about the responsible use of academic property. Thus, you accepted responsibility for this equipment. The university will hold you responsible, though you're not at fault. Holding your sister accountable for 100% of the incurred cost is only reasonable. OP, she needs to pay the full amount. Do not let this go. She can sell some of her stuff to pay for it. Also, it sounds like she might need parenting classes also. As she and your mom both admitted, she left her toddler unattended around hot liquids while she was doing God knows what. I, 25 female, type very fast on my phone and sometimes have spelling errors and grammar mistakes. But as this is a text, I don't think it's that important. I just need the person I message to understand what I mean. I know it irritates my husband, as he's talked to me about it before. I usually double check my text, but last night it slipped my mind. I texted my husband a shopping list as my sister-in-law and her family were coming for dinner and asked him to get some things after work. As I typed quickly, I had written coconut MLIK instead of coconut milk. I was making Thai green curry, but I realized I didn't have a tin at home, and I had made the curry before my husband was back. I just needed to add the coconut milk and reheat it for when my in-laws would come. When he got home, I realized he had brought everything I'd put on the list except coconut milk. I got annoyed when I asked him why he didn't bring that, and he said he couldn't understand what I meant, and that next time I should check my spelling before sending a text. I told my husband to figure out what we were serving sister-in-law because it wasn't Thai green curry, as he didn't bring the coconut milk. I left my husband to figure out dinner, and he got us all takeout instead, which he was upset about doing this as he had a hard day at work and I was at home. Is your husband stupid? What other word could MLIK mean? Kidding, he's not stupid. He's just being unnecessarily petty. Not the idiot. If he didn't understand the list, he could have texted you back or called you to ask. He ruined dinner just to be petty, and you did your best. Especially since he didn't respond. Wait, what's MLIK? I don't even know where to look. He just went straight to, nah, not getting it, screw you. Even if he couldn't figure out the word from the typing, logical deduction, coconut what? Mothballs? Marinara? Meatballs? Milk makes sense. OP should turn every message to her husband into a formal email now. Maybe that will make him happy, at least until he receives the divorce papers, if he keeps going like this. LOL, I keep focusing on coconut. Like, what is wrong here? Geez, it actually took me like 3 slow readings of your typo to see it, because human brains are wired to ignore typos that don't affect the meaning of the word. So you're definitely not the idiot. Your husband 100% is. He did a petty thing for a petty reason, wanted to teach you a lesson most likely, and it backfired in the best possible way. I have a daughter from a previous marriage, teen Jenny, and a stepdaughter when I married my wife. We both have primary custody of our kids. My daughter took the transition decently, while my stepdaughter, Emil, teen, did not. So family therapy is mostly with her mom and her, but Jenny and I will come in for some sessions when wanted. Overall, I thought it was going okay. Jenny got a job when summer started. She used to have a twin bed, but when Emil moved in with her queen-size bed, that was all she wanted. So she basically saved all her money and bought herself a queen bed frame and a new mattress. She loved it. The 2 kids got into an argument. It started out over bread, but got more heated. My daughter made a comment about Emil's dad not giving a crap. It was unacceptable. She got her phone taken away for a week, had a lecture, was banned from her club for the week, and of course apologized. We talked about getting her to do therapy also, but that got interrupted. For context, Jenny's mixed, and Emil spray-painted slurs on Jenny's new bed frame and mattress. So my wife and I decided Emil's bed would go to Jenny until Emil buys her what she ruined. It's going to be expensive, but she has a job. She also lost privileges for a month. Her options are to sleep on the floor or on the couch. I got a call from her father, and he went off. I told my mom what had happened, and she also thought I was an idiot for this punishment. Why would Emil's dad call you instead of speaking to his ex-wife? Taking away a bed doesn't solve your problem. These 2 young ladies have some serious issues. It appears without intervention from a professional, their behavior will only escalate. You may want to admit to yourselves that you're both in way over your head. Get these girls some professional help, ASAP. That's what you call asymmetric warfare. It went from a sister fight to name-calling and destruction of property. That requires a consequence and therapy because that didn't come out of nowhere. Regarding the punishment, what do her dad and mom think is appropriate? That you and your wife buy a new mattress set? Only one person needs to face this consequence, and that's Emil. It's not like she's some little kid who doesn't know better. She's a teenager. Ouch. Low blow for low blow. Your family isn't blending well, and your therapist isn't getting the job done. I'm going to say everyone's the idiot here, except for the girls. Removing her bed and forcing her to sleep on the couch or the floor because the adults in this story dropped the ball isn't going to make Emil less idiot. If anything, it's going to make things worse. Were the girls even introduced and allowed to get to know each other? It sounds like y'all were trying to mix families after the marriage instead of before the marriage. So update. After a long talk with Emil, she handed over the money for the new bed. She had enough in her savings from her job and Christmas money. My wife handled the slur talk and had a long conversation with her ex-husband about their daughter and about him basically abandoning her. Individual therapy for both. My 24 female, boyfriend 27, and I were invited to one of our friends' birthday party yesterday. I had work early today, so we agreed to leave early. Also, my boyfriend broke his foot, so I was in charge of driving. Around 11 p.m., I started to feel tired, so I told my boyfriend we were going to go soon. He said, yeah, just let me finish my conversation. I said, okay. After 5 minutes of waiting, I told him again that I was tired, so we needed to leave. He told me to wait 5 more minutes, but those 5 minutes quickly turned into 10, those 10 into 20, and 20 into 30 minutes. At this point, I was getting angry because he already promised me we'd leave early, but now it's close to midnight and he's still talking. I go to him again and tell him that if he's having fun and wants to stay, I can ask his sister to drive him home, as it's on her way. He said no and that he was coming. I told him I was tired and I'd leave without him if he wasn't there in 5 minutes. He said he'd be there. Unsurprisingly, after 5 minutes, he was still not there, but was having another conversation with someone else. I go to him one last time and tell him I'm leaving. I guess he doesn't hear because he doesn't react. Before leaving, I went to his sister and asked if she could drive him home. She said she would, so I thanked her and I left. My boyfriend called me 10 minutes after to ask where I was. I told him I left because I was tired and he wouldn't leave. He called me an idiot and hung up. He texted me right after and told me I was an idiot for leaving without him, that he was just talking with his friends, and that it wouldn't have killed me to wait a little more. He blocked me right after that and slept at his sister's house. I texted her, and she told me he just needed time to cool down and that my leaving without him had really hurt him. No news since from him or his sister. Was I the idiot to leave without him? Perhaps it's true that I could have waited until he finished talking. Not the idiot. You were very clear and reasonable with your boyfriend about your need to leave early. He was being disrespectful and selfish by ignoring you and continuing to talk with his friends. He also broke his promise to you and lied about coming soon. You did nothing wrong by leaving without him, especially since you arranged for his sister to drive him home. He owes you an apology. Also, what 27-year-old blocks their partner after an argument? That's high school BS that even feels immature for high school. OP, let me tell you as someone in a similar position, it will never get better, and you'll be tired, grumpy, and a nag who always kills the fun. I came here to say this. I didn't experience this, but my mom did. My dad always liked to get wasted at parties and family events, and my mom was always the designated driver. She went through this every time we went somewhere. It became a habit of hers to tell him before we left, when I get tired and say I want to go home, please don't argue with me. He'd agree, but it never worked out that way. We would stay well past midnight, and my brother and I would literally be falling asleep. He'd keep saying, after this conversation, after this beer, etc. And it was always a lie to stay longer and drink more. Once my mom simply had it and left him there overnight at his sister's house. I'm 29 now and have been moved out for years. But yeah, It never got better all those years. OP, he has no respect for you, especially with the blocking. As others have said, that's a high schooler move. I'd reconsider the relationship